President, Chairman Reception Committee, Dr. Modi, and I think I can claim to have the privilege of calling Comrade Shanath Mehta, Dr. Raj Bahadur Gaur, and comrades. It is indeed a privilege to be present in the silver most important and the biggest units of the All India Bank Employees Association, All India Central Bank Employees Federation. And it is also a privilege to get the opportunity of at least sharing the views with these fighting comrades, not only of Central Bank but also of the bank employees in the state of Gujarat, about the situation, a part of which has been referred to in the welcome address of the Chairman of the Reception Committee, and a long part have also perhaps is known to you, but requires certain amount of reiteration. First, I congratulate you for having completed 25 years of your fruitful existence. In a society where we are living today, trade union is not yet accepted with its right perspective by the employer and also the ruling class, where still now it is, perhaps if it is accepted as perhaps a necessary evil which have to go with to complete 25 years of existence in this situation is a tremendous task which requires not only conviction but a unique fighting capacity to withstand all that has happened during this period. So the central bank is not only the biggest bank, the central bank had, on the other side, had the privilege of captaining the captains of the banking and against the workers for all these years, and you have fought against them unitedly and come up to this position for which you definitely deserve congratulations. We are meeting in the year 1981 at the fag end. We are passing through an economic crisis. An economic crisis of an unprecedented nature. A nature which perhaps I do not know whether the government is trying to avoid by overlooking it, but it is overtaking the whole nation. The consumer price index, in spite of all its defects in compilation, is today 454. We do not know where it will end. The prices of the daily necessities of life are every day increasing. It is no pleasure for any government to state that about 45% of the population live below the poverty line. It is no pride for any citizen of the country when the government says that the purchasing power of the rupee has gone down to 22 paisa. I do not know whether the statesman has got any meaning to those who make this statement. For the common man, the life has become suffocating. So the question is, what is to be done? Answer is that you have got to unite. The working people have got to unite. All the democratic forces have to unite. In a vast country like ours, which can be turned into one of the richest countries of the world, that has been exploited by a handful of persons, that whole transformation is to take place. The slogan is, unite and fight. Unite irrespective of caste and creed. Unite irrespective of a political ideology. But unite to fight the exploiter. Unite to fight the exploiting class. What will be the form of the last stage of the revolution, that can be decided afterwards. It need not be decided now. There need not be disunity on this matter. But the exploitation which is overtaking the country, every one of us who are wage earner, drawing whatever salary, or the small businessmen, or the professionals, every one of us is suffering. And suffering, shall we suffer without any grudge, or we have got to revolt? And revolt against one. It is not a question of the capture of power. It is revolt against the exploiting class. The exploiters, a handful of them, who are today holding the country to ransom. And that is the slogan, and that is the duty of the trade union in the year 1981. Chairman of the reception committee has referred to the international situation. Pakistan is being armed to the teeth. For what reason? To create tension, to carry the Cold War to the subcontinent, to make the government spend much more money on the defense instead of development. What is the reason? To create tension or force this country to submit to the whims of the imperialist America? What is the reason for it? If that is to be fought, that again can be fought unitedly, not by the government, unitedly by the people, working people who are suffering. They are the persons who can defend the country. They are the persons who shall defend the country. They are the persons who shall fight imperialism as they fought against the British imperialism and drove them out. This situation is creating a dangerous position today. Now with the trade union, we feel as if our only role is to get an increase in the wages. Management wants that also, and the government wants that also. They don't think of anything else than your own wage, your own service condition. But can our wage or service condition be consolidated if there is a danger to the country's integrity? If there is a war which has been carried to the doors of India, can we be able to consolidate our gains which have earned out years of hard struggle? It cannot be. It will be washed away in one day. In order to safeguard and consolidate what we have earned, it is essential that we have to be very much careful about all these games of the imperialists that have been carried on. It is necessary, therefore, to look beyond our wages and look to the interest of the nation, look to the interest of the people. Second thing is this. Every day the inflation is overtaking the wages. In the system where we live, I'm quite sure Comrade Sanath Mehta will not differ. But in spite of being a minister, that wage can never in this country be equal to the price. Prices will overtake the wage every time, because the system is such where, if I may be telling too loud to speak, prices run like milk coursing. And the wages, they also run like a schoolboy champion. Gap every day increases. And then that you gain, you fought in 1977, 78, 79, you forced H.M. Patel to concede and Morarji Desai to concede 30 crores of rupees. After that, what has happened? Everything washed away. How long will continue? A young man with the age of 20, 22 joining the bank and retiring at the age of 60, his whole life will be only on the running after the wages, prices. That will be his line. Every time there will be struggle, there will be wage increase and the price will increase further. Again there will be struggle for the wage increase and the price will go further. This is the some bone of the trade union movement. Or are we to fight against a basic policy which creates such paradoxical situation in this country where the prices go always beyond the cream of the cash hold of the people and wages are always following the prices? So unless we realize this aspect, we cannot do. We have got a rule, particularly in the bank. We work in the bank. We work in the bank and we know, particularly younger generation, know at least in the older people we were, in the banks we were. I would say in those days not so much educated bank employees, but the younger generations, MCOM, there's economic honors, they understand the role of the banking in the capitalist system, they understand the role of the banking in the mechanism or the price mechanism of this country. They know the role of the bank in the creating artificial shortage. They know the role of the country, how the capitalism is developed in this country with the help of the banking finances. We working in this bank, we have got a definite role. Educated organized section, having the proper knowledge of the mechanism, of the price mechanism of this country, the role of the banking in the development of the capitalism of this country, the role of the banking in the exploitation, helping the exploiters of this country. We have got a definite role because the people at large expect that role to be played by us. As we fight for our own, we shall have to fight for the nation. As we fight for our own, we have to fight for all working people. As we fight for all, we have to fight for all people of this country, the teeming millions who are suffering under the price rise of this country. In that, if we do not play that specific role by exposing the government policy on the question of the bank credit, then we are not playing our role properly. We want that in our struggles, the public will support us. Why? We say, जनता से हमारे अपील, जनता हमारा साथ दे. क्यों साथ दे? हमारा डियरनेस लेवल बढ़ाने के लिए. Unless we take up their cause, unless we fight against the basic policy which exploits these common men, why they will support us? Therefore this is a role. And this role today the bank employees are expected. You are the most organized section. You are the most militant section. You have withstood many attacks. Today the bank employees, say in the trade union movement, held by everybody in esteem. Your unity, your consciousness, your fighting against all right reactions, your fight against all the communal forces, that is known to everyone. You unite people. You meet, irrespective of your caste and creed. You unite people, irrespective of language, irrespective of religion. The trade union unites people, common men, fighting against all. And that is the history of the AIBEA. That is the history with which you are born. And that is the history you are carrying through. Naturally, people expect that in their fight against exploitation, you shall give a lift. And that is expected of you after 25 years of your existence. The Silver Jubilee celebration is no doubt you have got the right to celebrate it because you have won victory. A victor celebrates. But at the same time, you have got to prepare yourself for the stiff fight which is coming tomorrow. That fight is fight against exploitation. Situation is really ripe. You are to unite. Because today, tragedy is the trade union movement is divided. Today, yes, in the bank employees fund, attempts are being made to disunite. But AIBEA is a mighty force which nobody can dare to disrupt, which cannot be disrupted. That being so, the trade union movement expects you to give the lead. Trade union movement expects you to give the lead against all. And in this situation, I have only to point out the danger which is coming. Now you have gotten today an act which is called ESMA, which has just now come. It was ESMO yesterday, today it is ESMA. Yesterday it was ordinance, today it is act. Now, in that ESMA, strangely enough, that the only non-essential service which has been included is banking. What is the essentiality about the banking? Here is the finance minister, I have got to ask you a question. Railway runs every day. There is no holiday for railway. Defense have to be ready every day. But for the information that during this Dussehra festival, in Calcutta 7 days banks were closed. The economy didn't go out of gear. Nothing happened. What is the essentiality about it? About the banking? Maximum you can talk, it is a public utility service. That also, what is the percentage of people who bank, go to the bank, utilize the bank? But it is essential. It is not railway, it is not postal, it is not defense, where every day. But here is the banking, what is essential? It has been included. Why it has been included? I don't know. It has been included. And every day we hear we are the persons who are really creating all trouble. Every day in the parliament you hear you are looting banks by taking overtime. Now, wonderful thing, in parliament you are charged for taking the overtime. And in the ESMA, you will be punished. If the banker says do overtime, you say no, I will not do overtime. That is strike. In parliament you are being punished, ridiculed because taking overtime. And in ESMA you will be punished if you don't refuse overtime. Wonderful. Where the things can come in. But today it has come to a position as if we are the section who are really creating all sorts of trouble. I want to tell through the minister to his other colleagues in central government that so far as the bank employees are concerned, it is this bank employees who demanded nationalization of banks. It is this bank employees who demanded snapping of the relations between the big houses and the banking industry. It is this bank employee who went on strike against the wrong judgment of the Supreme Court of India, when Supreme Court of India gave a judgment against nationalization. This is the AIBEA and this bank employees. These bank employees are for service. These bank employees are for catering to the needs of the common men. These bank employees have been demanding the increase of the number of branches in the rural area. This bank employees have been fighting for the giving credit to the common mass of people. These are the nationalist bank employees. And if you try unnecessarily to ridicule them, I'm extremely sorry to warn them that you will be doing at your risk. Because the bank employees bank employees throughout have fought for the cause. It is not a question of personal vindication of anybody. They have fought for the cause. That is why we have had the guts to fight against a mighty central government when no less a person than the creator of the modern India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, was the Prime Minister of India in the year 1954. Because of our struggle we created cabinet crisis. V.V. Giri had to resign. I am telling you, we'll do it as a peril. It is not a particular thing. When Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji was Prime Minister in 1964, we fought and we say, hell with the tribunal. When Srimati Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister in 1970, we fought for our second bipartite. And when our great friend Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister in 1977-78, when he wanted to teach lesson, when even ex-Prime Minister Charan Singh wanted to dismiss all the bank employees of the country, we fought against that and we forced the government to agree 30 crores of rupees extra for the nationalized banking sector. That is why I am telling, we fight for a cause. That is why we can say, if you do not take the warning, you will be doing at your own risk. That is what I want to say. Comrades, we have got many tasks. We have got many tasks to fulfill, as we have said, that the trade union movement fights the class struggle. Trade union movement is a class organization. We are not fighting today there need not be anybody challenging this, that we are not fighting for the seizure of the power. We are fighting against exploitation of the common mass of people, where we shall fight. And we know that, because knowing Comrade Sanat Mehta, I am quite sure in our struggle he shall have to be with us, because of his belief in the class struggle, and he cannot be with other side. In this situation, comrades, the most important factor is that you have got to bear with other things, your tolerance, your patience, your unity, and your militancy. That you have got to build. You have got to be much more careful about your duty. As we say, we fight for our cause. That is why we have got to be responsible to the society. We shall have to serve properly, and at the same time we must claim the share of our toils. That you have to do. I know the bank employees are the most maligned. I have joined the bank at a time when the bank employees were insignificant. Today, after all these years, bank employees are a respected citizen of the society. They are maligned because they, by their united struggle, have been able to secure better wages, better service conditions. It is not by the grace of anybody, but by the militant united struggle of the bank employees. We can assure that we shall, when we continue our fight for our own, we shall continue our fight for the betterment of the society. The summum bonum is not the wage earning. Objective and perspective is not in with our promotion and transfer. We are to change the society. A society has to be built. A new society has to be built, where the people will be free from exploitation. Trade union builds new men. Trade union builds new society. All this casteism, communalism go with the trade union. Trade union teaches to respect man like a man. This new man builds new society. and that society is free of exploitation, where no one will have to fritter away his energy for increase in wages. Every energy will be used for the benefit of the nation, and for the exploitation by any individual shall be completely over. That is new society we have to build. And I am quite sure that this task you will fulfill. We belong to middle class. Many people feel that we have got our weaknesses. Yes, middle class have got complexes, middle class have got vanity, middle class have got its vacillation, but so far as the members of the All India Bank Ltd Association, they have proved that in spite of all these things, they can rise up to the occasion whenever the demand is met, and I'm quite sure in the coming days they will fulfill it. As I started with, the All India Central Bank of India Staff Federation is one of our prize units. It is a prize unit, it is the biggest unit, and so far as the AIBEA is considered, this organization as number one unit in the AIBEA. Naturally, your responsibility is much more than others. Your responsibility have to be fulfilled. It is not pure and simple your own, but the whole of the society. I am quite sure on this completion of the 25 years, you will take a new vow to fulfill the objective of the trade union movement, to fulfill the objective of the working class movement. Unitedly you shall move together, fight against all exploitation, without any fear of sound, create a new society, and that where your position will be ensured. I thank you very much for getting this opportunity, and also thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I wish the conference all of success, and with this I declare your conference open. Thank you.